Paul, thank you so much for such a great shoot.
Well, thanks for setting this up. And when I hang out with you, we always have a fabulous time, not just with music and gear, but with culture. You are a Renaissance man in the business. It's nice to know you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I think you have a really good handle on both the sonic world and the visual world. And since I'm a musician by trade, I tend to focus on the sound part of things. I get very deep into what is produced by these pickups that you make. But it's nice to come out of that world a little bit and enjoy the world of rock photography. You know, it can sound like this, but it can look like this.
I love pop culture and music.
You're part of pop culture.
I guess.
Growing up, I would stare at those DiMarzio pickup ads, and those exposed cream coils. Just visually, you know, I immediately had a sound in my head from, you know, knowing all the endorsers that use those days, you know, Al Di Meola and Ace Frehley, and what an amazing diversity of players too. I mean, Al Di Meola was this amazing like fusion cat doing all this, you know, pretty clean. Even though he used a super distortion, he was doing all the like those kind of licks. And Ace Frehley would come out, you know, with smoke coming out of his guitar. And I feel some obligation because to demonstrate this pickup, because it's really one of my favorites of all time. Every guitar that I put him in is just, you know, instantly becomes one of my favorite instruments. And it, the way I tend to set up my whole system is where I can have a fairly raunchy guitar sound, but it's clean enough where I can stop. You know, it's not shrieking and feeding back and howling. So I can actually play with some dynamics, and I can play quietly if I want. And so, to me, the test of the pickup is how, first of all, it's got to sound good there on this sort of default position. But in my giant pedal board, I've got a lot of things that will either make the sound cleaner or make the sound more distorted, and the pickup has to follow me down those different paths and still deliver. And with a humbucker, I mean, humbuckers are notorious for having a great thick tone, you know, not too harsh. The higher notes still have some thickness to them, and this pickup totally delivers that. But, you know, I wanted to see how it would do if I cleaned it up. You know, because sometimes single coils are the ones that clean up better. And if I hit on a couple pedals, it's still super nice. You know, I can hear every note of that chord. And I can stick the chorusy thing. It sounds great, and of course I can go the other direction as well. And you know, make the thing go nuts. So it travels very well in every sonic direction I can think of.
One of the things that Steve did is that Steve actually figured out ways of keeping that openness in the strings and that kind of acoustic quality when you're not running through the distortion. And then when you do run it through the distortion, you still wind up with that individual layering of strings.
Yeah, and that's really a battle. I mean, you know, if you learn to play guitar, especially if you begin on acoustic, which a lot of players do, of course, you get used to playing as many notes at the same time as you can, just because you want to hear yourself. So, you know, you end up playing these big chords. But you know, then you start getting into distorted, you know, overdriven amps and pedals, and suddenly everything you learn goes out the window because it's too harmonically complex for the pickup to figure out. But this one really does it well, and so thank you.